Welcome to The Human Experience, a podcast about the stories we live out every day and the importance of championing the vulnerability and courage of the storyteller. I'm your host, Jennifer Peterkin, and it was through my own lived story of experiencing domestic violence that this podcast was created. By traveling the globe and interviewing each guest in person, I am convinced now more than ever that stories have the power to change the world. You can join our community of storytellers by subscribing, leaving a rating and review, signing up for my newsletter, following me on Instagram, and more. Thank you for being here. In a world full of noise, to listen with intention is an act of resistance. Episode 76 of The Human Experience is an update on Joe's story. Last week, you heard a replay about Joe's past and what made him into the person he is today. Now, more than 2 years later, we're catching up with Joe to talk about what he and his wife walked through to adopt their niece and nephew into their family. It was a difficult and often frustrating journey, navigating systems that in many ways don't work for their intended purpose. But Joe, his wife, and their family and friends persevered, and last fall they were finally able to finish the adoption and close the door on this chapter of their lives. Now they're navigating life as a family of 6, and while there are still hurdles in front of them, there is also, finally, hope for a wonderful future for these kids. A brief content warning before we begin. This episode contains conversations around drug use, abuse, and neglect. Please proceed with care. This episode was recorded in Westchester, Pennsylvania. So, Joe, you were episode 4.
Yep.
The second.
First 5.
Yeah. The second episode that wasn't me just talking ever released.
The most popular episode, too.
Pretty much.
Until you brought up some, pretzel peddler to try to knock me off my pedestal, but whatever.
But actually, I still get feedback about your episode. People love your episode.
It was deep.
People love how unhinged you are as a person.
They should see me on a regular basis.
Just kidding. So, we recorded your episode in 2022. Yeah,
I think October, maybe.
Yeah, September, October. That fall.
It was either September, October, so I only had the kids for a little bit at that point.
Literally a week or something. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's got way crazier.
I know. The past couple of years have been a journey for sure.
I had no gray hair August 2022.
I don't know if that's true.
I had maybe a little bit of my beard, but not on the top of my head, not on the sides of my beard. And
you still don't have much gray hair. On the sides more?
I dyed it.
You dyed it?
I didn't dye it. The short Mexican guy at the barbershop dyed it. It's because my kids kept making fun of me.
Oh, really?
And then they made fun of me when I dyed it. So it's
you can't,
I can't win.
No.
I just want to shave it all off, but I'm not allowed.
Because?
My wife told me I'm not allowed. So I have to keep my hair on the top of my head.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, you actually have hair on the top of your head.
Yep.
So you should be proud of that.
No, I'd rather be bald. I don't have to do anything with it if it's bald. Just put a little lotion on it.
What do you do with your hair?
I get a comb and I comb it down because it sticks up sometimes.
That is a lot of work.
And I have to pay a barber to cut it every other week.
Yeah.
If I shaved it, I would just do it myself.
Okay. Well, something to think about.
Oh, I think about it every day. I take that little Snapchat filter of the bald head. And I look at it. And I'm like, oh God, I wish.
Do you still do Snapchat?
I guess TikTok now.
So, 2022 is now 2025.
Yeah.
The kids have officially been adopted, but a few months ago.
Yeah, November 20th.
2024.
2024. Yes.
And you got them in fall of 2022.
September 6th, 2022. We were told to be 15 to 22 months max would be the process. And a lot happened in between then. Their parents are both incarcerated now. The dad's in jail for 9.5 to 18 years. The mom, who was tried after the father, got 3 to 5 because they painted her as kind of a victim of the father as well, which was just her lawyer's tactic, I guess, to get her less time because she was just as responsible for what happened to them kids. And the only violence I seen between the mother and the father was the mom beating the shit out of the dad a few times. So,
can you remind me what happened with the kids themselves?
Okay.
How you got them, how that all went down?
My wife has a half brother. My wife's brother, her mom, her stepdad, the brother's fiance or baby's mama, basically. They all suffer from addiction. I'm putting that in quotes. They decided to use drugs nonstop. And the kids were living in a crack house with them. So I know I said this on the last podcast, but back like 7 years prior to them coming to us, I was working and my wife was supposed to be in Bala Cynwyd. I was in Fallcroft. I got a weird feeling. I go to the house in Southwest. My wife's there, yelling into the house. The grandmother's there unconscious from being on too many drugs to be conscious. Gianna, who's now, I guess, my legal daughter, but at the time she was just still an infant. She was on the couch asleep with nothing around her. On the end table next to her was razor blades, pills, all kinds of stuff. Southwest police didn't care. We tried. CYS got there about 8 hours later. Or I guess it was DHS at that point, and said because there's adults in the house and food in the fridge, they weren't going to do anything. Jeez. So cut to a few years later, my wife's mom's now sober at the point. She calls and needs somewhere to stay. She was either had to go back to the crack house or not a sober living house, like almost like a homeless shelter in Chester. So at the time, it was just the four of us. We had a 3-bedroom house with a finished basement. So I was like, she can come because my wife was really sad. Like she always longed for a relationship with her mom. And her mom stabbed her when she was 12. So that's why she stopped living with her. Stabbed her with a corkscrew when she was going through like a fit of rage from like meth and stuff. So her mom comes, lives with us. She's doing good for a little bit. The kids end up coming to visit. It's Christmas of 2021. I had to pay the parents $60 cash to have their kids come to my house so they can eat and get presents. And we would buy presents and leave them outside the house years prior. And, the parents were taking them to the bar and selling them to people to get money for drugs. So they were never getting the presents we were bringing them. We wouldn't put our names on it, anything. We just put the kids' names on it, wrap it. They could say it was from them, we thought, like whatever they wanted. They decided to open them themselves and sell it for pennies on the dollar. While the kids were coming, I noticed like they're malnourished. They smelled. Gianna's whole head was just 3 dreadlocks. That was it. Like just big dreads. They came a few times, and then May of 2022, late May, early June, her mom started to relapse. It was obvious. She was nodding out at the table for dinner, and the last thing was she smoked a cigarette in my basement, and I hate the smell of cigarettes.
This is your wife's mom?
My wife's mom, yeah. I hate the smell of cigarettes. I talked to her about it once. She said she wouldn't do it again, and did it again. So she was at her clinic, and then she was hanging out with her ex, going around her clinic, her methadone clinic, and, basically getting pills and stealing from Wawa and all this stuff. So I loaded all of her stuff in my sedan, drove it down to the crack house in Southwest Philly, and dumped it all on the steps. In the time she was there, the kids came to stay at our house a few times, and I noticed, things were off, whatever. So fast forward to September, I'm driving home from school. I'm sorry, driving home from work. And I get out, my wife's sitting on the steps crying. And I think I said this last one, but my first assumption was my daughter did something stupid in school already and she was on the phone with the school. But it wasn't that. It was a DHS caseworker calling to say they had a truancy case open for 3 years. In 3 years, the kids went to school 60 days. They lived 1 block from the school. You could literally walk out back and see the school from their house. The mom said she didn't send her to school because, and I quote, if you go outside, black people will kill you. She made her kids terrified of the community around them, which was horrible. They've since been broken of that. They've been exposed to all types of people coming to our house, living with us, and also that's not an issue anymore. But the caseworker tells us she noticed Timothy, that's TJ, it's my nephew. His hair was all like tangled up. He had long curly hair. He smelled. His eyes were red. And when they asked him why, he said, there's no running water in my house. And my mom makes me hold all my bathrooms until I go to school the next day and I don't feel good. Then they tell us they've been trying for years, but every time they would go to the house, even over the summer, the mom would say they were down the shore, which threw up a big red flag for me. It's like these people's windows are covered in aluminum foil. They're missing part of their roof. There's garbage stacked sky high next to their house. And you think they're affording a shore house for the summer? So they come to our house right away. You could just tell things were off. I ran out. I bought them a bunch of clothes. Try to make them feel really welcome and comfortable. We're talking to the mom. The mom gave some BS story that The little girl was like, oh, send us to Uncle Joe and Aunt Michelle's house, please. The reality was the mom called several people, even people who were in active addiction who lived in similar situations, before they called us, because she knew we reported her years ago and was angry about it. Didn't care about what was best for her kids, just her own vindictive, stuff. We get them. Like 4 days later, my nephew's really sick. The caseworker pulls us aside. Now, mind you, this caseworker was saying incredibly racist things about the system the kids were in. Basically saying the only reason these kids were being placed with us was because of their ethnicity. And if it was something else, they wouldn't have these opportunities, which I thought was crazy because they're blood related to my wife. Yeah. That's the reason. And so she's like, on my own time, I want to take them to CHOP with you guys. My nephew tested positive for opiates. So he's been with us for 4 days at that point. So they remove him from us. That's when my cousin Sam, I mentioned before, came and got him, whatever. They had to investigate us. I had to do a drug test, all that. I'm allergic to opiates. So right away, I sent him a picture of my medical chart and was like, I didn't sign any HIPAA stuff, but here you go. I can't even take a Tylenol 3, whatever. Then I got the mom on a 3-way call with the caseworker where the mom and the kid are both talking about how the mom every night for 3 years would crush up pills, mix it with some kind of nighttime cough syrup, and give it to the boy to make him sleep. And there was darker intentions behind that we found out later through his trauma therapy and all. But so we were cleared. It was the mom was caught, whatever. As we start taking the kids to therapy and having them around more, they start opening up more. And that's when all the other stories start coming out. I don't want to get too deep into a lot of the dark stuff, but there was a third kid, Skylar, that would have been their sister. The mom was using when she was pregnant. Kid was alive for about an hour. She kept the dead baby in the hospital room with her for 2 days until the hospital finally was starting to turn colors and whatnot. The kid was cremated. She would make the kids carry the urn around, referring to it, go get your sister, we're going for a walk. When she would get mad, she would tell them that they should be dead and their sister should be there. All this craziness. So we're 3 months into it now. December hits, getting close to Christmas. The mom visited once. Even though we knew what was going on, we said in the beginning, the mom could visit in a public setting with us present. And she wasn't allowed to talk about the dad because right away we found out my nephew had broken teeth in his mouth. He had bruised ribs. The dad was brutally beating him every day. It's all the time. The dad would take him on drug runs and leave him outside the drug houses for hours while you go in. The dad had a lot of drug debt to where the little boy was sleeping and someone threw a brick through the window right where he was sleeping. So a lot of trauma, a lot of nonsense going on. And then December rolls around. They're about to be homeless because the grandmom and grandpa got someone to buy the crack house off of them because they owned it because it was given to them by the grandfather's dad. So someone was willing to buy it to rehab it. So they kicked the parents out and just went off on their own. They got $70,000. They spent it in 3 days. Oh, yeah. It was nuts. Anyway, even though I was really not okay with everything that was going on, I drove down to Southwest, picked them up, drove them to a rehab. They had to go to Crozier Chester first and took the baby's ashes because I didn't want that getting thrown out. It meant a lot to them at the time. Whatever. Now it's with the kid's biological uncle, the mother's brother. I just gave it to him because I didn't want it around because the kids don't want to see it. They don't want to be reminded. I just didn't want to get thrown in the trash. Then I guess it's January, February, kids are in more trauma therapy. Now all the stuff starts coming out. And an SVU detective from Philadelphia makes contact with my wife and I. We find out there's warrants issued for all 4 of them. The grandma, grandpa, mom and dad. The grandma and grandpa actually gave testimony on the mom and dad to get a better deal or whatever. But it's Southwest Philadelphia. They're homeless. They're in the wind. The police don't have, I guess, the manpower to... They told us they had 2 cars dedicated to just finding them. I thought that was bullshit. So the kids weren't really sleeping because they thought the dad was going to come for revenge. It was consuming my wife a lot. And I got to the point, I was just all right, we're going to find them. So my wife and I would drive around there sometimes looking. And then most nights my wife would go to bed and I would how do I say this not to sound illegal. I would take stuff bodybuilders take to cut weight to stay awake for a few extra hours, and I would go explore Southwest Philly, like crack houses, like trying to find the parents. I got a couple crackheads' phone numbers, told them I'd pay them money, showed them pictures. I entered a few crack houses, like at 10:30, 11, midnight, like looking for them. And then it was Mother's Day, the day before Mother's Day, 2023. The kid's mother's grandmom, who was like trying to help them before, she lived separately,
This is their dad's mom.
No, this is my foster kids.
Yeah.
Their mom's grandmom.
Oh, mom's grandma. Okay.
Because the mom's mom was an addict too. She's in and out of jail. The grandmom had her shit together. Nice lady, lives in Tinicum, works at a restaurant out there. So they had contact with her when they were little, but when she started saying, "Yeah, what's wrong? Like, why are the kids like this? Like, why are you doing this? Like, how come you only want money from me? You don't want formula, you don't want food, you don't want clothes, you just want money." So they cut her out too. So the kids want to make her a big card and everything. So we surprised her at the restaurant. The restaurant's about 10 minutes from the old house. And the TJ was like, "That's my nephew. Hey, can we drive by the old house? I want to see," because it was kind of therapeutic for them to see it being gutted, all the shit being gone, all cleaned up, being rebuilt. So they knew they weren't moving back there because they weren't there anymore. It's fine. So we drop them all, or we drive by, and then we drive out, and we loop around, and we just go a few blocks over to cut back around to go back to Island Ave to go to 95. And their dad's outside of a car shop detailing a car because the drug dealers would give them heroin, and he would detail their cars and do all this stuff. So I drive halfway down the block. I hop out of the driver's seat. I tell my wife, "Get in the driver's seat and just leave me." So she does. I walk up to him. I can't say everything I said, but he told me that his boys were watching. And I said, "Well, tell your boys I'm on steroids and I'm armed. So whatever you want to do, we can do." His boys then just left. He was by himself. My wife went and got the police. It was a little over 10 minutes. I had to keep him there before the police came. And they came, they arrested him. He had a pocket full of heroin, is what they said. He wasn't charged for that because it's Southwest. They probably just threw it out or let him do it all before he went to jail. The mom, so they had no contact with their kids. Their excuse were their phones were broken. BS. They knew they were in the wind because what was going on. The mom shows up to the dad's court date and gets arrested right there. So they're both in jail. Trials kept getting pushed back. Constantly driving to Southwest for interviews. Literally, it would be the morning of, I'd be taking off work. I'd be walking from the parking lot on 15th and Arch to Family Court, or 13th and Filbert, wherever it was at the time. And I would get a text being "Court's canceled." Or I'd be sitting in the courthouse for 6.5 hours. They'd be "They forgot to bring him from the jail. Court's canceled." The system's so flawed. So all in all, TJ got to read a victim impact statement to both his parents. He did a great job. He ended both of them with cursing at him. I believe he looked at his dad at the end after he was crying. People in the courtroom were crying. I was the only one not crying because I've heard it all a million times. But then he looks at his dad and goes, "You were never a father. You're a fucking crackhead piece of shit." And I was like, "Oh shit." Where'd that come from?
And how old is he?
At the time, 11, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot of anger in him for all the stuff he went
I'm
through.
Sure, yeah.
And Gianna didn't want to talk or anything. And then shortly after, the mom, he just wanted to cause another ooh moment because the mom's court was a month later. And he told her to go F herself at the end. I was like, all right, we're done with that, you know? But in the meantime, we're dealing with the system people. They're supposed to help you with the kids because you're taking on 2 additional mouths to feed, clothes, all that. Me and my wife bought their beds, bought their wardrobe, all the stuff before they even said that. And they were like, "Well, do you guys need help? Blah, blah, blah." I'm like, yeah, if you're going to offer extra money because we're feeding, missing work to go to doctor's appointments, all this stuff. Yeah, of course. So this woman shows up to my house on a Saturday in pajamas. I'm supposed to give her all my mortgage statements and everything, which I did because we were told to. Later that night, I'm at the grocery store. I go to hit my Apple Pay and it's declined. And I'm like, well, that's weird, but Apple Pay is finicky sometimes. So let me take out the debit card that's linked to the Apple Pay and it'll work. Put it in, declined. I always have cash on me, so I just paid cash. I go out to my car. My wife's waited out the car for me while shopping, and I was like, yeah, something's wrong with like our debit card or something. I go to pull up my online banking. There's no account in my online banking. My checking account's completely gone. And I was like, well, this is super strange, and it's a good bit of money in there, so I'm a little alarmed. The lady who I gave the check to that same day, even though it said void on it, tried to write over void and withdraw $10,000 from our bank account. Yeah. And those are the people that are supposed to be helping us. So the first caseworker we had was, we told we would never get another caseworker. She was removed for racial comments that were in writing to us. Basically kind of like anti-white comments. Like I should specify, like racist comments. The next guy, he was supposed to come out once a month. He's supposed to help us with everything. The first 2 months he shows up each time, whatever. Then he shows up the third month drunk with a rolled blunt behind his ear. His girlfriend's in the car waiting for him. He's telling me he just left a barbecue. He's pretty drunk. He has to drive to Delaware. You know, we were having behavioral issues with Gianna. They're supposed to help with it. He just doesn't get back to us. We don't see him for 3 months. He tries to call us the day of court to tell us that we need to tell them he's been out every month and doing visits. We didn't. We told him the honest truth because, like, we needed help. We got our third caseworker at this point. He was okay, but he was kind of, like, very appeasing. You know what I mean? He wouldn't actually help with anything. He would just say what he thinks people want to hear in the moment, which didn't work. Like, Gianna's headbutting the floor, having a meltdown. He's like, did you try taking her for a walk? Like, is she a puppy, dude? Like, no, she's having a complete mental breakdown. Like, we need help. Because, like, mental health in this area is terrible. I'm sorry, mental health help. Like, any kind of help for, like, any kind of mental health you're having, they either want to throw pills at you or tell you to do a telehealth, like, once every 90 days. It's not going to work. There's no inpatients for kids. Her mom used meth and heroin while she was pregnant with her. Like, if you look up the fetal alcohol syndrome, like, face, like, the whatever that comes up with it, it's identical to her. But they can't diagnose her with that years later. And, like, it would be, like, different personalities coming out. And we're just struggling trying to get help. Like, so she, like, attacking my dogs, attacking the boys, breaking shit in the house. Like, it was just too much. But, like, we didn't have any help, like, at all, you know? So it was just me and my wife doing everything, like, driving from Springfield to, you know, CHOP twice a week to take her to appointments.
Because you guys had to go to these specific...
Yeah, because they're placed with us through DHS, so their insurance was through the city of Philadelphia. So any specialist you wanted to see had to be based in the city of Philadelphia. And now we live in Westchester, so we needed a bigger house. All the extra expenses. Had to buy a bigger car to fit them in. Mm-hmm. Had to buy a bigger house to fit everyone comfortably in. So we moved to Westchester. Her appointments are at 55th and Woodland in Southwest Philly. So I have to drive from Westchester to 55th and Woodland. And I ask you guys make the appointments at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. so I don't have to deal with as much traffic. 4 p.m., you know, like 8 or 8:30 a.m. And the place they have this girl at, it's not just a child mental health facility. It's a methadone clinic, an adult with behavioral issues place, an adult mental health facility, and a dentist office.
What?
All in one building. And the building's not big. So we're there. I'm driving like to there. I didn't want my wife going. She went the first 1 or 2 times. Like, I really don't want you down there. Like, that area's really bad. It's terrible. Like, one of the cops I met out here used to be a cop down there. And he's like, we're not allowed to really do anything down there. He's like, they sell drugs right out front of the police station. Like, we were told not to engage. Like, wow. Yeah. And that's where she had to go for her help. So finally, after fighting nonstop, we get the court date. Now, the adoption agency was supposed to come out every month, and they're supposed to lead up. They were supposed to be adopted, I believe, December of 2023 originally, which would have been within the timeline. Mm-hmm. Then it was March of 2024. Then it was June. Then it was August. Then it was October. Finally happened in November because my wife and I would just pester these people nonstop. The adoption agency was so bad that I would email them all the documents they said they required. And then a month and a half later, they would reply to that email asking me for the documents. Oh, jeez. And I'd be like, hey, you're replying to the email that had everything you requested. And since they kept dragging their feet, certain things would expire, like a physical. I had to get a physical to prove that I was physically able to raise children, although I'm already raising 2 children. Just so I had to get my cat's vaccination records, even though my cats never leave the house. They had to have all up-to-date shots. When my dog passed away, they kept asking for my dead dog's vaccination records. And I was like, why? She's dead. Like, she's not around anymore. This makes zero sense. Like, you guys make no sense at all. Like, but all in all, it happened. They're fully adopted now. The behavioral issues haven't stopped. Like, just the other day, my nephew was kicking the handles off of his dresser because he lost in Fortnite. And it's all that. He's been in trauma therapy. He's been in one-on-one therapy. He's been in occupational therapy. Like, it got to the point where it's just like all focused on their needs for like the last 2.5 years, where it's just so draining, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, their parents are where they need to be now. Like, the grandparents are on the run because more stuff came out and the grandparents got warrants. So the grandfather is on the run with pending Megan's Law charges. Like, so if he gets caught, he's going to get some serious time. The grandma won't get that much time. It was more of like the neglect and stuff like that came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how the adoption's been going. Like, that's how that whole story panned out, you know?
I mean, we're obviously friends in real life, so I've been walking not through this with you. I have no idea what you've been going through, but I've been here in real time, like hearing
that's
this
why it's
as
weird
this stuff.
when like interviewing about it, because I've told you all this already.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm repeating everything like to you.
But it's good, because I would have told you if you missed something.
Yeah. I probably did miss some stuff.
No,
You did
great.
wild.
It is wild because, you know, these institutions and even the idea of adoption and fostering is held up as such this like noble act, right?
Yeah.
And like, it is a very selfless, if you're doing it the right way, it's a very selfless act because you are taking in kids that you never really chose to have, especially in your case. You know, it was an emergency. It wasn't like you and your wife were like, hey, we're thinking about adoption. Let's talk. Like,
I said it before. I got a vasectomy when I was 30 because I didn't want to have any more kids. I love the two I have. Kids are a handful. They can also be extreme assholes sometimes. So, like, the good times definitely outweigh the bad, but, like, I didn't want to add on to my plate. Like, we were comfortable. We had a 3-bedroom home in Springfield, a big yard. Yeah. I mean, now we have an acre in Westchester, so we're in a way better position. Like, yeah, but we were fine where we were at. Like, the other thing that happened during that, my wife's identity was stolen.
Oh, my God, I forgot about that.
So that was another thing. My wife, like, we were checking our banking almost every day. When we had to open a new bank account. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, having to open a new bank account, but when you have every bill set up for direct withdrawal in your bank account, and then you forget about a couple, it's stressful as shit. So I go to withdraw money. I took out $1,000 because I think I was going to Barclay Prime with my friend. So I was like, I got to have enough to like cover the basics.
Basics.
Yeah. $140 cheesesteak, Wagyu sliders, $100 ribeye, 12 lemon martinis.
We just have to do another episode of all of your favorite restaurants.
That's going to be a couple episodes then, because there's a lot. So, and then I go to check my account, and it's like, did I take this out twice? Like, it's showing another $1,000 withdrawal, like 2 $500 withdrawals. So, good thing I took money out of the ATM when I did, because someone else took money out of a Greenville, South Carolina ATM as Michelle Amato. And they're like, TD Bank didn't want to honor it. I had to fight for like a month to get my money back. I was like, so I'm at the Wawa in Clifton taking out $1,000. 5 minutes later, someone's withdrawing $1,000 at a TD Bank in Greenville, South Carolina. That's not possible. So I was able to find the girl who stole our check originally. And like, the company was called Turning Points, the agency. They've since gone bankrupt. They've been bought like twice in the last couple of years because they have such bad rotation with employees. They can't hold any employees, and they have all part-time employees, and they suck. They're all terrible. They're terrible. I get they're underpaid for what they're doing, but they're also underqualified. So go work somewhere else. You know what I mean? McDonald's pays like $14 an hour, I think. Like, go there and don't ruin people's lives, you know? So I was able to find the one girl who took the money out to try to use the check. And as I'm just like going crazy doing a deep dive, she has family in Greenville, South Carolina. I go to the Springfield police and telling them all that. First, I filed a police report when they stole the check. well, did they get anything? I'm like, no, but they tried to take 10. Well, I mean, there was no real theft. Like you told the bank in the state of Pennsylvania, the bank's not allowed to tell you who tried to withdraw the money. But when I called, they told me the check number. I wrote 2 checks that entire year. The voided one I gave her, and then one to the school for $15 for like some shirt or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, clearly it's the check number. It's been confirmed. That's who it is. So I had to fight for like a month. And I was like, clearly we're not in 2 places. But then my wife started getting all these emails. They bought 4 iPhones because they hacked her Verizon account because they had her social, her birthday. You have to answer all these questions, like a biography about yourself. And they're all like security questions, basically.
Yeah.
I had the foresight to lie on a lot of them because I don't trust anyone. So I was just like, all right, like childhood dog, made up a name, like whatever.
Yeah.
But they, like, my wife answered it honestly. And like some of the other questions I did too, but ones that I saw were like, this reminds me of the security question you would answer. So they were able to do that to get a duplicate debit card printed with her name on it and withdraw money from the bank. It was insane.
It's unreal.
Yeah, and these are the people that are supposed to be helping children who are in the most vulnerable position, and they didn't.
Yeah.
You know? But I would tell you, when I went to court, the one judge when he heard all the charges and everything the father was doing to the kids and exposing the kids to, and that they were under DHS investigation for 3 years while this was happening, he's like, if there were people here from DHS, I'd be looking to like press charges on them too. This is the worst case of, neglect, abuse, everything I've seen. And probably the only emotion the dad showed at all, he showed no emotion when his son was reading the thing, nothing. When the judge said 9.5 to 18 years, he started crying like a little bitch. And his attorney was like, is he boot camp eligible? And the judge was like, he's not eligible for anything, and actually walked off the stand and went in the back. And there was like 10 more people waiting to like go be seen. So like,
good.
I left after that. I'm sure he came back out, but he was pissed.
Finally, some justice for these kids.
Yeah. And I reassured my nephew, like, your dad got 9.5 to 18 years. Who knows if he's going to make it out because he has charges against children. He's not going to have a pleasant time when he's there. He's a skinny little crackhead. You're living with me. He goes to the Y with me. Like, I'm trying to get him to... He's really freaking weak from being like, malnourished his whole life and whatever. But we're trying. My son, Dominic, like, he shows him a lot of stuff. Like, tries to like toughen him up, like build him up and all. But like, I'm like, by the time your dad gets out, if he does the bare minimum, you're going to be 21 when he gets out. You're going to be stronger than him. Yeah. You're going to be bigger than him. You're going to know how to fight better than him. You have nothing to worry about. I'm still going to be around. I didn't tell him this, but I'm injecting myself with testosterone. I don't care how old I am when he gets out. I'm still going to be ridiculously strong. So I'll rip him in half. Like, I don't care. Like, you're going to be safe no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, which after we got him, like, it was crazy. Like, so much shifted with TJ. Like, he seemed like at ease a little more, knowing that, like, I always let him know, like, if he shows up to this house, like, I will end his life. Like, if he shows up here with the intent to harm you, your sister, my wife, I'll end his life. Like, you'll be fine, And that, he's like, I know. But, like, to actually know that now he's somewhere where he can't get out. The mom tried to write them, and they were like, no, like, we have nothing to do with you.
Well, because at first the kids wanted to talk. Well, especially Gianna wanted to talk to the mom.
TJ, so it was really weird because when you're like almost like Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, like that person's an abuser, that person's bad, but that person had some good times. Like, they would tell me that they wouldn't eat for like days at a time to the point where he was too weak to even like get up and move. And his mom would go shoplift cereal from the Dollar Tree and stuff. But she didn't like the cereal that Gianna got, but she liked Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and that's the kind of TJ got. So TJ would get half of the $1.25 bag of cereal because the mom would eat half of it. But if, say, like, they were all starving and there was a cheeseburger and french fries, she would make sure the dad would get it before anyone else. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of resentment there. But, like, once they were away, like, what really actually broke for them was the mom was supposed to be getting clean. And they lied, so they were in rehab. They weren't. They just weren't answering calls. One day, TJ did something good at school, and we're leaving, and he's like, can you call my mom? I'm like, yeah, sure. Answer the phone. She is plastered, like, definitely on heroin, could barely mumbling and all. And could barely talk, was mumbling. I just, like, mumbled right there. But she was, he's trying to tell her, and she's like, like, just whatever. And she would always say the same things when they would talk. What'd you have for lunch today? Like just, basic stuff. He's trying to tell her and she's just asking that. And then she's like, your dad's here. He says he loves you. And like, you didn't hear a word in the background because the dad's probably stiff as a board, like nodding out. And he just started crying. So I just like took it off speaker and was like, like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, and after that, he's like, I really don't want to call her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all good. And Gianna just doesn't give a shit. Gianna, she's very materialistic. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, whoever's giving her something or buying or whatever, that's who which is a thing we're in the process of like trying to break her of because that doesn't lead to great behaviors later in life.
Sure.
So it's not like, oh, who's giving you the present or who's going to take you out to eat. It's like, who cares about you? Who's there for you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
they didn't,
and it's so hard, childhood abuse like this because there's no standard by which to measure it. Like, and any abuse is not okay. But, when you're abused as an adult, you can hopefully look back and see, well, I wasn't treated like this by other people in my life. Like, I know what love looks like. I know what it means to be cared for. Whereas they just had no metric for that until you guys stepped in.
And like I said, it's been very hard because they'll be doing good for a while. And then it's almost like a relapse. Like they'll just, especially her, like she has really like, she'll act out violently, like a lot. Like she attacked Dominic and I always told Dom not to put his hands on girls and stuff. So she'll like scratch him and stuff. And she grabbed my dog and like pushed his head into like the wall and like he's sweet. So he like just like kind of like was like, what's going on? Like, he didn't know what to do. He just cried and like ran away. I would draw a line. She hurt my cats. She's losing everything in that room besides the mattress. Like, I don't know what I would do. I'd just be really upset. But yeah, it's been.
So dealing with the system has been, I know for you, such an incredibly frustrating. I know that's like really understating it. Yeah. It's so hard because there is the juxtaposition there of like, that social workers, there are good social workers out there and they don't get paid enough and they have too much on their
underpaid. The ones who care.
Yeah. And
they're very underpaid.
Yeah.
Underappreciated, put in horrible situations.
Right. So like, they exist and that shouldn't be the case for them at all. Yeah. But then your experience was the complete opposite of that. Yeah. And you had people that just should not have ever been in social work.
Not at all. Yeah. It was terrible. It was like just waiting for the next bullshit thing to happen. Like, no matter what. Like, it was this, you knew something. Also, I wanted to clarify, the thing I was taking to stay awake all night wasn't any kind of hardcore drug. It was clenbuterol. All right? I just wanted to put that out there. I should have said that back then. But,
I was like, I don't know this. Yeah. Is this like,
it was just a little dropper.
Cocaine?
No, God, no. I'm not really, caffeine's my thing, but
I know.
I already have like 3 or 4 energy drinks in me at that point of the day. So I was like, I got to kick it up if I'm going to be, scaling fences and going into crack houses.
Gosh. It just like doesn't surprise me at all knowing you as a person, but it's still
my friend Bob called me. He was like, are you all right? Like, what's going on? Why are you in Southwest Philly at 11 o'clock at night? I was like, oh, I'm good. He said, I would come with you. I'm like, no, it's all right. No, I'm fine.
You guys want to be superheroes is what I'm hearing.
I mean, if there was something I could inject myself with, like in all like the boys and stuff like that to become a superhero, I would not hesitate. You know what I mean? It'd be cool.
You do have a lot of Batman paraphernalia. So.
Yeah, I do. I don't have the money or the abs, but I have the intention. Yeah.
I love it. But so I guess what in and I don't know if you even have an answer to this, but obviously the system has huge gaps that leave these children vulnerable, even more vulnerable than they already are to more abuse, not just by the people that they're being cared for by, but by the system itself.
I don't think people realize how bad it is.
Yeah.
So there's such a need for foster families right now that they have an office down on 46th and Market. There are bunks like in like a prison type style, like camp thing, like a bunch of bunks in one room that kids are staying on. And these kids range from like 3 to 17. I'm not saying because you grew up in the system, you have ill intentions or whatever, but who's to say that 17-year-old isn't a pedophile or whatever? You're putting them in the room with sleeping 3 to 5 to 10-year-old. You know what I mean? Like anything could happen. Like, and that's the thing. It made me so upset. I wanted to start like if I had time, like during it, I was telling my wife, I want to start some kind of thing for like to help with it, because the money's not allocated correctly. Like they give you clothing stipends, which we haven't gotten, you know, which I think we got one the whole time, and which I'm fine with. I'll buy the kids clothes or whatever. But the one guy that was our second caseworker told us how he'll hook some families up if when they order it, they order a couple extra things that he can give his kids.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, dude, like, that's terrible. It's just, there's so much. There's so much wrong. Like, if I really sat down and like started jotting things down, I have a lot of examples of some really terrible shit, you know?
So how do you think it gets fixed? Because there's
Complete
no
system
other
overhaul.
Yeah, because there's no other options, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of buildings sitting empty right now. In Springfield alone, right on Sproul Road, I think it was Don Guanella. It's right across from a cemetery. It was a school or whatever for like mentally handicapped people, but it's a huge building, a lot of stuff. St. Kevin's School sitting empty. Like, convert them into like single bedrooms or double bedrooms where siblings can stay together. Like, have some really vetted employees there that, you know, you have employees around the clock that could make sure these kids are eating and going to school or having some kind of interaction with other kids, you know? Make them feel like humans. Don't make them feel like animals in a zoo. Like, the way they were treated, like, it was insane. Like, all the questions the kids were asked, like, the stuff they came out with, and they had to relive time and time again. Like, if they're telling a story to an attorney, an SVU detective, record that interview and don't make them relive that situation 30 times because you keep pushing court back. I could tell the difference in the kids leading up to court to after court. You know what I mean? Like the build up, the emotional dump, like the day of or after, like it's too much. And like have more stuff available to the foster families as a way of helping with the kids' emotional needs. Like I raised 2 kids, like my daughter's 17, my son's 11. Like I know how to handle certain situations, but my kids weren't put through all the same stuff these kids went through. Like my kids grew up kind of privileged. Like they grew up in a crack house. Like I said, when they're 8 and 10, they were illiterate and not potty trained when they came to us. Like they didn't know how to run. Like it was like, cause they were only allowed to stay in their little crack den hallway. Like, cause they, like I said, the parents made them terrified of the outside. Like there needs to be more stuff out there to help these kids adjust and help these kids realize like the world's not an inherently evil place. Like there are good people out there. There are better situations out there. Also, this is going to be a hot button topic. Stop enabling all these freaking addicts by telling them like, oh, you're wrong. It's because of this happening. It's because of that happening. Like we all had shit happen to us. You know what I mean? I was beaten when I was a kid. Like I was verbally, physically hurt, you know? I don't turn to heroin and put that on my children. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things where, like, yeah, okay, you fell, you hurt yourself, you prescribed painkillers, like, it develops. That wasn't their story at all.
Yeah.
Their mom was a piece of shit from the time she was a kid, stealing from family members, drinking and doing drugs when she was like 9. Like, it's because her mom was doing the same shit. Product of your environment. Like, don't allow these kids to be in that environment. CYS and DHS was at that house over 30 times where they never even gained entry into the house because all they did was knock, and if no one answered, they left. Take the extra step. Sit outside there. You know what I mean? Watch it. Like, when you're calling these people and they're telling you they're away doing, like, some luxurious vacation, but you're standing outside a dilapidated crack house, use common sense. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be more, I don't know, like, more serious punishment for these people. Like, I don't know.
It's just so crazy because you hear stories on the other end of the spectrum too, where it's like, you know, oh, like CYS came and took my kids because like I couldn't pay. I'm a single mom and I couldn't pay my electric bill. And it's like, so you know, it happens on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, but also I feel like a lot of people who say that, it's kind of like a half-assed story because for a single mom, there's something called law heap, where your electric bill will be like $7 a month.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, and that was just like a random example.
Yeah.
Because I do think the problem with that kind of thing is that it's left up to an individual's discretion. And so whoever is the caseworker is deciding,
Yeah, and the caseworkers, in my opinion, so like...
And we could be talking about totally different areas, too.
Our first caseworker, she was based out of Philadelphia mainly. So when she came to my house, I have a finished basement, tile floor, like nice tile floor, not like big tiles, like recessed lighting, egress windows, like everything you need in a basement, you know what I mean? Like full bathroom down there. And the kids were staying there the first night. And she's like, they can't stay here. And I was like, okay, well, we just got them. Like, I have a futon, I have a chase down here. So, like, they can sleep down here for now and we'll figure it out. She's like, well, the rules say they can't sleep in a basement. But the rules is because Philly's houses don't be having nice basements. And I was like, okay, well, we're in Springfield. Like, so it can't be like one general blanket thing. Right. It should be a case by case thing. Because they threatened to take them from us like multiple times.
But that's exactly what I mean. Yeah.
Stupid like things where it was like, oh, well, Mr. Amato didn't do all of his training yet. And it's like, okay, we got them a week ago. You gave me 20 hours of training to do. I have a full-time job. I'm a volunteer coach. And I have 2 other kids and a wife. You know what I mean? Like, you have to like work with me here. Yeah. And they're threatening to take them. It's like, so you're going to take them in what? Place them in the one house she wants to. This lady's really nice. She lives in a row home in Philadelphia, 3-bedroom house, has 12 foster kids.
That's where they wanted to place them?
They were going to separate them. Every time we would say anything, they would threaten to separate the kids. And it's like, why? Like, you told us they would never, and I quote, y'all never going to find someone to take these 2 kids because he's too old and they have too many problems. But every time we'd be like, give them a little pushback right away. Well, we'll just take them and put them in different homes and separate them. And the one time I called their bluff, I was like, okay, go ahead, come and get them then. Well, no, it's a whole process. It could take months. It's like, okay, well then shut the fuck up and give me more than 3 days to do these 20 hours worth of courses. You know what I mean? Like, which honestly was the dumbest shit. Like, how do you deal with a kid with different ethnic and cultural beliefs in you? It's like, they're my nephew and niece. This doesn't apply to me. But it was like a 2-hour video about that. And it's like, you guys got to be more case specific with this stuff. You're wasting time of both the parents, the resource people, like all of it. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's like, why follow those rules? But they lived in that house. Like, TJ was alive for 11 years before he was taken out of that house.
He was like 10 and a half when he came to us. So basically, and like, they witnessed such horrible things. You know what I mean? His tooth was broken. Like, his ribs were bruised. Like, he was fed opiates for years. I mean, I get it. The kid's annoying sometimes and asks too many questions. Just give him a spoon to knock him out. But, like, it's like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he had an Xbox for a month. He only had the demo of the Hitman game, which it plays the first 5 minutes of the game. He would play that for hours a day, nonstop. And, like, it caused a lot of, like, issues. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing a lot better, but like I said, he, like, didn't know how to use a fork. Like, he's been with us 2.5 years, and I have to remind him how to, like, eat properly all the time. Like, and he's had occupational therapy. So there is some damage there that, like, it's taken a long time to, like, reverse. It's been, like, I know 9.5 to 18 years sounds like a long time. I feel like they should have been put to death or gotten life. Because they're just terrible people. Yeah. And, like, the stress that's put on my family, my marriage, like, my relationships with other people, like, Richie. You know what I mean? Me and Richie used to go out to breakfast every other weekend. And I kept having to cancel on them because they might wake up at 5 in the morning and be spazzing out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or, like, so I would go to the gym as soon as it opens on the weekend. And then be back home trying to get there while they wake up so they're not doing crazy shit around the house. So I couldn't justify going out to breakfast with my friend at that time. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's not around anymore. So, like, that kind of sucked. You know, like, it was just a lot. Like, you know, canceling things last minute because they're having meltdowns and I don't want my wife to have to be left alone to deal with it. I mean, she was capable of dealing with it, but at the same point, it's like, she shouldn't have to, you know? We were told all this help we were going to get, like... We didn't know about Reprieve. So they're supposed to send them to Reprieve. So there's other foster parents that'll basically babysit the kids for a weekend so you can have a break. We adopted them in November 2024. We were told about Reprieve October of 2024. But then when they told us they would have to go to Philadelphia and, like, they would be placed with other foster kids ranging ages 3 to 17. I was like, I'm not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Like, there's been enough trauma to these kids. Like, I'm not saying because the kids are in the system, they're messed up, but I don't know these kids.
Right.
I don't let my son sleep over anyone's house. Like, he hates me for it. He says I'm overprotective. I don't care. I'd rather be called overprotective than, something else happen.
Yeah.
So
I think that, we talk a lot about the trauma of victims, as we should.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily talk about secondary and tertiary trauma when it comes to the family members who have to deal with the fallout of victim traumatizations. Because you guys are also going through trauma as you walk through this with them. And it's not over by any means because these kids aren't healed. It's going to take a lifetime for them. Yeah,
and when you think, the thing that gets me is like, when we think they're doing good, it's like one thing, and it'll be right back to square one. You know what I mean? So that's just, you're always waiting. With Gianna, there's signs. Like, she'll become manic days leading up to it. Like, she'll talk a lot, be super emotional, whether it be like happy or like whatever. Like, and then something's about to go down.
Yeah.
TJ he'll be doing great for months, and then you'll find out like all the stuff he was saying to people on video games and things he's been breaking and like things he was saying to kids at school, and you're like, oh my God. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, we're getting there, but it's been a slow battle.
Well, and again, you already said this, but the resources really aren't there.
Terrible. Resources do not exist. I mean, I want to it's not all bad. Like, they've been doing, it's been okay. Like, but we've had zero good interactions with anyone from any of these programs or places, organizations. The only good people we've met were the kids were appointed an attorney through the, city of Philadelphia to represent their interests during the adoption. And those people were great. Like, the one lady come out to the house every couple of months, like, talk to the kids, talk to us if we needed stuff. Like, so the mom's attorney, who wasn't her criminal attorney, she was her reunification attorney. Mm-hmm. She was supposed to lose all contact with us after the city ended the reunification process because everything in her custody was taken from her. She reached out to us. Oh, Marissa, the mom, wrote me a note from prison. Like, she wanted me to reach out and give it to her, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, she has an absolutely zero contact order from the judge. Mm-hmm. You're violating this. She's violating it. And she tried to be like, well, since I was her attorney, blah, blah, blah. So my wife just forwarded it to the kid's attorney. And then we got a separate email apologizing from her saying she wouldn't make any more contact, like all that, because she was wrong for doing that.
Yeah.
She had a soft spot for her, but like, I'm very like black and white meat and potatoes. Like, there's no soft spot for someone who did this to kids. Mm. I don't care that she was high. I don't care like she had like those urges to fulfill her, drug addiction by any means necessary. I don't care. Like, these kids were the victims. Like I said, like, okay, she had a shitty upbringing. Like, her dad was killed when her dad was 17, the mom, and he was murdered when she was a baby. Oh yeah, that sucks. But like, you didn't know the guy. I know it sucks, but like, you grew up with another whatever, but you chose at a certain point to continue to be a piece of shit. You continued the cycle of abuse with your children.
And that's what it is.
That's what I hate. Like, I could beat my kids if I, like, you know what I mean? Like
and blame it on your past. Yeah.
I was hit too. I don't do that.
No.
I'm petty as shit. I'll order a 6-pack of Crumble and eat it in front of them and be like, no, you're bad today. You don't get any. Am I going to take in 9,000 calories right now to prove a point? Yes, I am. You know what I mean? Like,
but I mean, it's a really good point and it's really important. Yes, victims need help. They need resources.
Yeah.
But there is a certain point where you have to become accountable for what's happened to you and what you're going to do with that. So yes, absolutely. Both things can be true, but I agree that like maybe she was a victim in her youth or even in her adulthood, but then she chose to do that to her kids. And so she's 100% responsible for that.
Also, she was awarded, I think, $250,000 from the police force of the police. Oh, a cop killed her dad. An off-duty police officer shot her dad. It was her dad's friend's dad. It was like some kind of crazy shit, whatever. But again, like I said, she was a newborn who never even met her father. Like, I get it. It could cause trauma later. But when she was 18, she was given $250,000 in like 6 or whatever separate payments. Every time she would spend it on really dumb shit. And yeah, you're young. I mean, I graduated high school when I was 17 and started working full time the next day. And I was in the union by 18. So I was making a lot of money at that age. I didn't spend it on dumb shit, mainly on food. I'd go out to eat a lot. You know what I mean? But she decided, and then when she got her other payment, her kid was, TJ was already born. She started spending all the money on TJ's dad, buying him Jordans, buying him all kinds of like designer stuff, like Gucci sunglasses. Like, why? Like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, buy a house, put money down on a house, buy a car, like, do something.
Yeah.
Like, she actually was a foster parent. It was crazy.
What?
That's something I should have. So when TJ was an infant, she had her nephew, or her mom's nephew, so her her aunt's kid. Her aunt was all jacked up. So the kid needed somewhere to stay, and the mom and her made a deal where they were getting paid by the city to take care of this kid. And they had gotten an apartment in Clifton. We were living in Springfield. So my wife and I would go over to visit, because that's before they were really badly on drugs. Like, they were, I think, dabbling in pills at that point. Like, she was a heroin addict prior, got clean, and then started doing like Percocet and stuff. So we would drop food off, clothes off, and I see this kid. And we saw him 3 times in the same week. He had the same outfit on. He would watch Wreck-It Ralph on a DVD in a bedroom where there was like a mattress on the floor, and that was it. So mind you, we're young parents. You know what I mean? We have our daughter. Like, we're okay. Like, but we ended up buying the kid like a bunch of clothes. We bought him a bunch of DVDs, some toys, like all that. They were like yelling at us for doing it. Like, we can take care of him. Like, dude, he's had the same fireman pajamas on for like a week.
Yeah. Like,
you don't let him leave the bedroom. Like, he's watching the same DVD on loop. And like, they're just collecting that check though. Like, you know what I mean? So like I said, it goes back to, I believe she was inherently evil. And I just think the addiction was the excuse she used to get by all this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But he's good now. He was adopted by another family. I ran into him. So we made it a point to connect the kids with any family member who was on that side that was doing good and not a complete piece of shit. We went through Facebook, started finding people, and like, it was good because she had a lot of great aunts who were involved in her life early who had to back away because of the way she would treat them. She would steal from them, lie to them. But the kids got to see them. Like, we went to Christmas Eve over there, not 2024, 2023. And they got to be around all them. We went to her uncles around the same age as her. We went to their like kids' first birthday or like christening, stuff like that. And we saw the kid that was being raised by her. He's like 17, 18 now. He's doing great. He had a new family. Like, he's healthy. He plays football. Like, it was awesome. Like, getting to see him. I wouldn't come up and be like, hey, remember when you were in like fireman pajamas watching Wreck-It Ralph all day? But like, it just made me happy. Like, oh, good. Like, that kid went through hell and he's doing good, you know?
Yeah.
But it was also sad 'cause at the same time, he's like, does anybody know if like my mom's coming? Because like, he still had the tumultuous relationship with his mom because she was still in active addiction, you know? But yeah. I mean, if I can go back in time to September 6th, 2022, I probably would have just been like, nope, not doing it.
Would you really?
I don't know. Probably not. Which was like, at the time, Richard pulled me aside and he was like, are you sure you want to do this? And I remember being like, why the fuck would you say that to me? Like, do I want to do this? Like, no. Like, do I have to do this? Yeah. But then I realized as like I was being stolen from and, you know, made to get a physical every 6 months and have people in my house every other week and going through my drawers, looking under my bed, like all this stuff. Like, he knew what I was going to go through because he had to deal with it with his nephew for a little bit. So he was just saying, like, giving me a heads up where everybody else was like, yeah, bless you, good for you. Not like, you're about to go through hell. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I don't know. I guess I would because, like, I care about other people. But at the same time, I wish I would have known going into it that, like, it was going to be hell on earth for, I mean, we're still going on, like, 2.5 years at this point. So
it's a lot. I mean, I think, and I actually think it's really important that you say that you're not sure. Like, yeah, probably, but it's not necessarily a happy story.
Yeah, like it kind of made me have like a little bit of resentment in the beginning because it's like my life wasn't easy by any means, but it wasn't like this. You know what I mean? And it's like I could just be chilling. Like my son's well adjusted. Like my daughter could be a bit of an asshole from time to time. She's a 17-year-old. She usually only, like if I showed you my text on my phone, Dad, I have $110 for the snowfall dress. Dad, can you DoorDash me Chick-fil-A? Dad, can you drive me to school and stop by Rolling Stars and get me a breakfast sandwich? Like, literally the only text I have from her. It's not like, hey, Dad, how's your day? Like, that's it. You know what I mean?
I do love Rolling Stars, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But then she shits on it, too. She's like, I'd rather have a Wawa breakfast sandwich. If I'm like, oh, you want to go to Rolling Star? If I suggest it, worst idea out there.
Well, she's 17.
Yeah, I know. But, like, we had our, I guess, the way, we had our routine. Like, we had... And it just threw like a whole thing. And it made me feel like it took me away from them. My son don't give a shit. He's 11, so 9, 10, 11. As long as he's playing Fortnite, me and him get to go out once in a while, he's fine.
Yeah.
You know? But my daughter was like, you're like taking her to all these appointments and you can't drive me to work today. I'm like, I'll pay for your Uber. Like, I'm one person. Like, me and your mom have to go. So you have to be a part of this appointment. You know what I mean? But I felt like it would be easier after the adoption, and it just hasn't. Like, they still haven't sent any of the stuff they were supposed to send. We're going on 2 months now. Like, their birth certificates, they're supposed to have new birth certificates. We still haven't gotten those. Like, it took the lady a month to send us the pictures from the adoption. Like, there's professional pictures taken. They were like, oh, we're just really backlogged. And, like, even we're supposed to meet with the adoption attorney. We drove all the way to 4th Street from Westchester for an 8:30 appointment. And she's like, oh, she's sick. She's not going to come in today.
Oh, jeez.
Didn't call us, though. They waited till we got there, paid for parking, went in. I was like, oh, yeah, she's sick. No one called you? I'm like, I had to leave my house at 7 a.m. and have someone else come to my house to make sure my kids got on the bus. Like,
yeah.
What? Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know. Looking back on it, I guess it was best for them. And, like, my son and my nephew are pretty close. My son's younger than him, but he's like, I guess like alpha dogs him all the time because like he's so much stronger than him. Like, but it's good though. I think it was good for them.
It's good
I think
them,
that caused issues with the girl though. She doesn't have somebody like that, you know, where like, you know, it was just the two of them all the time. And now he has somebody else, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's hard because, you know, what do you do if you come to a point where it's like, I know that you've had issues where you guys feel like you're at the end of your rope, and what do you do from there? You know,
drive 90 miles an hour into a tree on my way home. That's what. No, I just keep going. Like whatever it is, like we try to show them that like we're always going to be there for you. Like you can keep doing this like anti-us stuff, like angry stuff. Like we're not giving up. Like my niece has been in 2 trauma-informed therapy things. She was in the Horsham Clinic in Broomall. Outpatient, they won't do inpatient. Horsham Clinic again out here in Coatesville. That just finished in December. Now we're meeting with Devro at the end of January. That's supposed to start in February.
Outpatient again?
Yeah, they won't do inpatient. They basically said with the one out here, due to the ages of the other people that'll be there, they fear for her. And I was like, oh, God, yeah. I was like, we're good. Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, all the sports stuff, like we take them to the Y, showing them how to like exercise, like get it out that way. Like,
yeah.
The thing is, we got my nephew a cell phone for Christmas because he's going to be 13. We got her a flat screen, like a smart TV because she had like a little TV. So we got her a big smart TV and all. She came out bobbing her head being like, I should have got a phone. This is like, I'm like, oh my God. Like, you didn't have Christmas for 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how spoiled they have become and like entitled after like last year they went to Portofino Bay, Universal Studios for a week. We got like a 7-bedroom house in OBX for a week. You know, they've been to Lancaster in the mountains all in that year. Like, they're trying to make up for like shit they didn't have. Like, I did vacation for 4 years before that.
Yeah.
And then like last year, just like trying to, you know, do stuff. We're taking them to Lake Harmony next month. They're going snow tubing for the first time. Like, it's all been like first for them. So just trying to like keep it going, but also not spoil the rotten. But it's like hard at the same time because it's like, for a while, I'll be honest, I was being a little manipulative and be like, you know, they've never been to this restaurant. Like, we should take them right now. I don't think they've ever had soup dumplings. We should go to Tom's Dim Sum for dinner. Like, just to like, feed my own addiction. But she caught on to that pretty fast.
She's not stupid.
Yeah. And they're like, we don't want to go to all them places. I'm like, shut up. I'll get you Wendy's on the way home. Just get all your food to go. I'll eat it later. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's a hard balance, I imagine, to strike. And there's also like, I imagine, regulation issues like in their own selves. Yeah. So it's not just because they're quote unquote spoiled, but it's like they don't even necessarily know how to deal with.
They get overstimulated pretty fast. Like, and that's the thing. I had to like kind of, when we first got them, like you take him to a playground and like he didn't know how to run. He was malnourished, like skinny, like kind of looked like an alien, the way his head was shaped and like his limbs and all. So like he'd be like running after kids because he didn't know how to play with other kids. And kids would be looking at him like, what the fuck is that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you running like that? Why do you look like that? Like, I'm not your friend. Get away. Like, so like that was a lot of work, Teach them how to build relationships with others have been kind of like a trying situation. But
do they have friends from school?
Gianna, yes.
Okay.
Which is weird because she's the one who has the most trouble at home, but at school, she kind of thrives. Yeah. Like, TJ, I just think he's too much at times for people, or too like weird because he didn't grow up right, and he doesn't like. I have to tell him like, you don't say this to people. You don't like. Don't be so self-deprecating. Like, don't like. My son's trying to tell my son since we moved out here. We moved from Springfield to Westchester in June. My son had a birthday party in November. He had 32 kids there, and they're all like. He's been invited to like a dozen parties. He has one next week. Like he's going to. TJ hasn't been invited to like anything. Yeah. And I think it's because he's like, he doesn't know how to like just be normal. And like, we're trying to work with him. Like I said, he's been in therapy, occupational therapy. Like he has one kid from Springfield he still talks to. And another like kind of like dorky kid. Like, like that little like whatever. But we're trying. It's just, he's too much. Like he doesn't know how to like self-regulate with certain things. Yeah. So it's like, Gianna's crushing it though. Like, she has a lot of friends. It's actually, we found a family out here that's raising their niece and nephew as well. My son's friends with the nephew and Gianna's friends with the niece. So like they've been like doing stuff together, hanging out and all. So that's been cool. And Dom doesn't have any classes with the kid. They were just on the playground at the same time at school and they started hanging out and Dom approached them. They're cool, Yeah. So I volunteer at the school a lot and like I see him like interacting with kids in class and he's like, his little girlfriends and stuff, and like, you know what I mean?
Dom.
Like, yeah.
Not TJ, yeah.
No, not TJ. TJ's holding out for John Cena. That's what he wanted his name to be. So they changed the name for adoption. He wanted to change it to Timothy John Cena Amato.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I think we might get sued. Like, I don't even know, dude. Like, but no, because when you're 30, you might not like John Cena anymore. And once it comes out like next week, he's like a crazy Nazi. And now you're Timothy John Cena Amato the rest of your life. Like,
that's true. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. I don't think John Cena's a Nazi. I'm saying that for legal purposes, but I just think allegedly, but no, because he wanted to be TJ still, but he hated being Junior because he was Timothy Jr. So now he's Timothy James. He talked about making it Timothy Joseph Amato.
I was going to ask.
Dom's face, when he mentioned that, Dom was like, you'll never be Joseph Amato.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Because Dom, for a while, was pissed I didn't name him Joe Jr.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, bro, you don't want my name. Like, you don't want all the drama that comes with this. Like, you know what I mean? I wanted to name him Rocco Salvatore Amato. That got shut down. Then it was supposed to be Nicholas Amato. And then once Michelle was under anesthesia about to give birth, I was like, Dominic Amato. You can call him Nick if you want. But it worked.
And now you call him Dom.
Dom, the Dominator, Domicide, all the...
But not Nick.
Never, no. At the time, I had a Nick that worked for me too, and I was just like, I'll bring that hatred for that kid home to my son because I'll be yelling at a Nick all day. Then there's another Nick. We're not doing it,
Yeah, actually, I do know. Well, wow. Quite a journey that you've been on.
So it's all done. We're like,
so are you going to adopt anymore?
Hell no. No. I say that though, but like, actually the Nick that worked for me, he's not doing too well nowadays and he has a daughter. And my wife and I have talked before, like, oh God, like, if it comes down to it, like, I guess we would take her in. Like, you know what I mean?
How old is she?
She's 7 or 8 at this point.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe 8. And Gianna has bunk beds. So, I mean, it was like, it would work if we had to make it work. But, yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't.
Yeah. You've got enough on your plate, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
For a lifetime. So
I'm all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have you done? What have you been able to do to help you and Michelle like walk through this? Because it's obviously a lot on you guys too.
I try to take as much off her plate as possible. So like every day, like I work out in the morning mainly. I'll make sure I stop at Starbucks on my way home from the gym. I get home, I'll make her breakfast. I wake the kids up. Like, you know, she'll take the 2 of them to school. I try to be as much of a partner as I can if there's stuff that's going on with the school or we have people coming to the house to inspect it or we have to meet with people. I try to like make sure I'm there.
To your team,
Michelle
which
grew
is
up.
awesome.
Yeah, Michelle grew up with that same woman as part-time. Her dad's no better. Her dad's a complete piece of shit. Like we have no contact with like almost anyone in her family.
Yeah.
So I just try to be there. Like we always have each other's back with decisions with the kids. Like we don't make a hasty decision without, although I got down with PS5 and a monitor for Christmas and there was a little pushback on that. And I was like, I'm going to do it regardless, you know, but other than that, like we both spoiled Dom because he's like the nicest out of all of them, but we try to be on the same page with everything. You know what I mean? Like as supportive as possible for her. Like if she needs me, like if she called me at work, I'd leave, like see what I need to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome that you guys are such a team together.
Yeah.
It's really important, I think, for the success of your family.
Yeah.
But what do you do for you then?
Inject myself with testosterone and lift heavy weights. That's how I cope. And I go out to really nice restaurants like used to be once a month. You know, it's like every other month. Because it's a bitch to drive to Philly from Westchester. I didn't think about that when I moved. I was like, oh yeah, dude, we're going to Dante and Luigi's. Like, it's like an hour and 20 minutes now instead of 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It sucks. That's about it. I don't know. Try to relax at the end of the day. Just like unwind sometimes. I do have my medical marijuana card, so that takes the edge off once in a while. The best thing for me though is I like going to the gym and put my headphones in and like closing out the world around me. Now, if I could just diet, I'd probably look great, but I'm good. I'm going to eat like shit and lift heavy weights. That's going to be it.
I'm less concerned about the food than the amount of energy drinks.
I was down to 1 a day. Your brother started drinking 2 a day again, so that kicked me up to 2 a day. But I didn't have any pre-workout this morning, so 2's not that bad. And I'll end it with 2 because I was drinking so many, I was getting vertigo.
Yeah, I know.
Look it up. It's pretty wild. Like, I was like, what's going on with me? Like, what's wrong? Am I dying? I was like, it's just vertigo.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I was getting really nauseous and dizzy.
Heart palpitations.
They sucked. But now it's like 1 to 2 a day. You know, it's only 400 milligrams of caffeine. I was drinking 16 shots of espresso and 5 cups of coffee a day. So like.
Yes, I know your caffeine addiction has been long standing.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm damn proud of it.
That's right. It makes me function better. You know what I mean?
Listen.
It's like putting premium gas in a Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? You just got to do it to get it going. You know?
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. So, other than that, everything's been good. Yeah. Yeah. Can't complain.
This is such a you thing. So, I have to say, whenever I ask you what's going on and your face is saying the whole world is gone to shit and you're like, not much, you know.
That's right.
How are you? What's going on with you?
Because I'm more concerned about others, and my typical thing is, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Can't do anything to change it. Just got to deal with it.
Well, I'm glad you have a partner. And
he was just texting me to see how I'm doing.
No. Glad you and Michelle have each other.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that my brother is apparently also your partner.
That's right.
As well. He should be. He should be very helpful.
He is. Now I got to see what he wants me to call him about. He's probably just trying to take attention away from this. You know
probably.
What I mean?
Yeah. He
Spending
does that.
too much time with my sister. What's going on?
Exactly. That's it.
I'm your favorite Peterkin.
No, I think what you guys have done is really incredible, but really difficult.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your honesty in the way that you talk about it. Because, you know, talking to you, I've never felt like I've been worried for you as a friend, you and Michelle as friends.
Yeah.
Just because what you're walking through is so difficult. But you've always kept it very real about like where you are, and you're not like, oh, everything's great and the kids are wonderful.
Me not having a filter probably, gets me into certain situations, but it makes me completely honest all the time.
Well, it's good. Then at least you're verbally processing things, which is good.
Yeah.
Because it's got to come out somewhere.
Yep. It's going to come out in a road rage incident eventually, but I mean.
Great. What time are you leaving? I'll make sure.
In 5 minutes, once I kick everyone out that's downstairs.
Well, I don't really know how to end this now.
I know. Let's edit all that out, like the last 10 minutes for sure.
So thanks for doing this.
Yes.
Are we going to have a third installment?
Yeah, sure. Yep. Without a doubt.
We'll see where you are in a couple years.
Yeah. A couple years. We'll do this summer. I'll talk about my snow tubing adventure.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll do a restaurant only one. I'll give everyone where they're supposed to eat.
Are you just going to become my co-host?
I'm down. Yeah. We have to get some people in here to interview.
You'd make a great co-host.
I think I would.
Yeah. I think we might have to start a different podcast, though, for that.
Yeah, Fitz is like, you just shut up so I can go home. He keeps coming up to me.
Well, maybe the podcast could be about all of the things that you think are wrong with the world, because and me telling you
100 episodes,
and me telling you that you can't say that.
It's gonna be a lot.
All right, well, we'll work on that.
Thank you for listening to The Human Experience. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, share it with your friends and family, share it on social media, and rate and review it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can also support the podcast financially by going to my website, thehxpod.com, linked in the show notes, and clicking on Donate. It takes a lot of time and resources to create this podcast, so every little bit helps. Everyone has a story, and I'd love to hear yours. So be sure to check out the show notes for more information about how to stay in touch. Do good and love well.